the season right. Let's kick off the season right. Let's kick off the season right. Let's kick off the season. Step inside the locker room and it's time to go in. These Jackson sports know we do for a win. Hop in the buses, now it's time to spin. Different schools, probably West and Michigan. The west side, east side is the best side. Throw in your blue and your silver and show your pride. They got a problem that ain't solved on the east side. Tell them see us Friday night, we'll get on baptized. So don't step inside the locker room. So don't step inside the locker room. So don't step inside the locker room. So don't step inside the locker rooms. East Jackson. East Jackson.
Welcome to the EJ Locker Room Podcast. Pull up a stool at your locker and let's talk about it.
Oh, that hit. That was it right there.
That
Good
was
stuff.
legit, yes.
Heck yeah, Bucky.
How we doing today, guys? Cofield, you doing all right, my man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're making it. We're making it.
Coach Wheeler, how you doing, brother?
I can't complain. We're summering it right now. So,
Yes, sir.
Just rocking and rolling, brother. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Even though it's summer, it never slows down for sports, though.
No, it only picks up. I feel like, you think you're about to hit a lull. But
What kind of stuff we got going on right now around campus?
so right now, we got a lot of camps going on. A lot of our camps are finished. We still have 4 kid camps to go. And as of right now, we have 338 kids that have enrolled for all of our summer camps. Numbers were up. Football was 50. They just finished up last night. Flag football had 23, which that number's up. Soccer was up to 36, which is a blessing. And so that just shows, I think, with the success of our programs and our community, that the numbers of our kids are just growing. I mean, baseball had 31. Softball was up to 17 this year. Dance had 30, and they moved their date because they had to move their date up early. It's just a testament to what the coaches do. And, Coach Loggins does a great job with our dance program. And just looking at that, she's always had a strong turnout with her camp. But that's up.
Ryan was over there for it. Ryan had a blast.
Yeah, I mean,
she had so much fun. They did a performance on the last day, and it was Kelly does a great job with that, man. Like Kelly Loggins, she takes that and she rolls with it, and she does awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and even for our camps that are coming up, I mean, our cooking camp's maxed out. We often a cooking camp here, it's maxed out. It was maxed out with like 3 weeks of us opening the window. Like we had to close it because, there's only a certain number we can have in there with the stoves and of what we have in that room. And so we maxed that out in like 3 weeks, which was awesome. And last year was the first year we did it. Miss Ware did a phenomenal job with it, and it caught on real quick, and that one shut down real quick. Robotics also had to close down because they hit their max number as well.
I heard great things about that, too. One of my neighbors.
I saw some pictures online. It looked really cool.
He was able to print some stuff like with the 3D printers to take home to like tinker with and stuff. And
so, normally everybody does a shirt that people leave a camp with, and he wanted to do something different this year. Mr. Schaller did, and he said, instead of us doing a shirt, I want the kids to leave with like what they made.
Something they created.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and so like my son was there. They came home with something every day that they had made at robotics camp.
That's cool.
Right?
And that's how you create long-lasting memories there.
Right,
that
right.
and your programming, because they compete. You know what I mean? Like they go around to robotics competitions. That's how you grow your program. You get the kids in there at a young age. You get them hooked on it, just like we do sports. And you let it ride. They like that. They see what they can do in the future. How the future is going to be. I mean, not run by robots, right? But, I mean, the future is everything's going to that more, automated stuff. And so they're able to get plugged in with that and set them up great for the future.
It is truly phenomenal. This is the one thing I do want to say about our camps as well. If you go look at any of our camps, I was just down at volleyball yesterday as they finished. Or they're finishing today, actually, but yesterday at their camp, the number of our athletes and our high school kids, like robotics, I mean, I bet they had 10 high school kids in there helping.
Yeah.
Right? Like the number of our high school kids that are there at all these camps helping these young kids is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not getting paid to be there, none of this. They just want to be there to
be
help
a part
support.
of it. Yeah, absolutely.
And so it is like the whole volleyball team was there for volleyball camp. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And
for people listening at home, if you're kind of wondering, kind of what takes place at these camps, it's a very good blend of fundamentals and fun. I mean, the camps that I've been involved in and seen over the years, there's definitely some teaching and some fundamentals being put in place, but also just a lot of kids having fun and kind of getting to know the sport and realize that, hey, this is something that I can really fall in love with moving forward.
Yeah. No, I mean, one of the best things I love going to watch is softball and baseball when they get out the plastic and the soap and the water hose and they practice their sliding, but they're just going down basically like a slip and slide. Like it's phenomenal things like that take place, which it has just been a blessing to see. We had the dead week here, and there was nobody on our campus, right? That next week, I remember looking at Dr. Stratemeyer, and I'm like, wow, you can tell it is not dead week, and our camps are in full force. There were cars and people all over our campus, which is awesome, which is what we want. And so it's just been a true blessing. Our number of total campers are up this year as well. So it's just been great to see how this goes. And, I mean, we still have like cooking camp hadn't happened yet, but like I told y'all, that one's maxed out. Nobody else can register. We had to shut that one off. But our girls' basketball camp's coming up June 15th through the 17th. Our boys' basketball camp's coming up June 22nd through the 24th. And then cheer camp, that's always later in July, and that's July 15th through the 17th. And I don't know if y'all have ever been able to see the cheer camp, but my daughter went to cheer camp when she was young. And it is so cool to get in there because you see the high school cheerleaders and all these little girls are loving it because they're doing these stunts. They're being held up like you see the girls when they're competing, and they think it is absolutely phenomenal. Awesome. And they love it. So it's a great time, and our cheer coaches and our cheer program, they do a phenomenal job with that as well. Also with our tennis camp this year, we were able to have two players come from Emmanuel to run our tennis camp this year, which was great. And so one of them was their number one, and for the girl, and then the boy, I think he was either their number one or number two. They're both legit tennis players. Actually came from Brazil. So it was pretty cool to get to talk to them of that experience as well, and then being over here, but getting to work with our kids for tennis and having people that are in it at a high level, be able to do their instructors. And watching some of these drills, I never would have dreamed, but talking to the instructors that were doing it, they were like, we grew up doing these drills. Like, this is how we learned how to play tennis. Mm-hmm. But it was fun games. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. One of them was kind of like dodgeball, but it was working on how they swing their arms and throw and whatnot, but they had it with a dodgeball. So it take like your backhand, where you're coming with your backhand, so you're holding the ball like this, but they were doing like this dodgeball thing with overnet. It was super cool. That's Kids were loving life, awesome. And they didn't even know they were working on skills. Yeah.
So for a lot of our listeners, by the time this hits some of our streaming platforms and they actually get a chance to hear this,
we'll try to get out by Friday.
Some of this may have already passed. Right. So if they bookmark this information for opportunities for next summer, when do these camps start to open up typically during the year so that they can be on the lookout for this and make sure they take advantage of it moving forward?
That's a good question, Buck. We normally have these ready to go before spring break. So our board office likes to have this stuff so they can post it out for all of our schools in the county. So we have these ready to go with dates, times, prices, and then how we run this through our booster club. It's a one-stop shop, right, where you can go and you don't have to pay for each individual camp. You can go and select your camps that you want for your children. We just want the contact information and the size of shirt so we can be sure to get them their shirt when they come. But right there around spring break time, that's when we start sending out all over social media. We send it to the elementary schools and the middle school to post out. Mr. Hooper at the board office, he sends all the stuff out on the school county websites, so it's good. But spring break is when you can look for all this stuff because that's when we try to get it out. Plus, it allows parents that time to start planning stuff for the summer. Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. A lot of that time, vacation's already planned. And so when the dates come out, you can look and say, okay, well, we can't do this, but we can do this. And that might open up an opportunity for, like, flag football. Ryan was out at flag football. I wouldn't have thought to put her in that, but I was like, hey, look, we're going to be here. Let's try it out. She went and had a blast.
Yeah, and the other thing, some parents that I have talked to, just to bring this up from talking to them this, they were hesitant to sign a kid up and they were trying to do it later because they were not 100% sure if they were, like they had 2 weeks, they didn't know when they were going on vacation because when their parent could get off, right? But like if something were to come up, we have the ability to help try to get money back, to the people.
Yeah.
They're not going to lose their money.
Right.
You know what I mean? If something were to come up, we've had people that had emergencies come up this summer that we've been able to try to help out as well. So it's some of those of you don't want people to not register because they're worried too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's great information for sure.
And
Don't be scared. Get out there and take some chances.
Yeah,
Expose yourself to new things.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how many of these kids, I know you said that the numbers were, kind of hitting a all-time high. How many of our campers are participating in multiple camps?
So we have a good number of campers that are actually participating in multiple camps there. I don't know the exact number off my head. I haven't gone back. I always crunch those numbers when we're totally finished, but I don't do that yet because we still have people that are registering. We'll do that once the cheer camp is
completely
completed.
finished.
Yeah.
That's the last one?
Yeah, that's the last one in July. So once that's finished, we always go back through to see how many kids did we have coming? Because we always try to, if it's able, we would love to try to have some of these piggyback off each other, where it would be like, well, we know we have, out of this 338, 140 of them went to multiple camps. So is there a time that we can piggyback this, maybe where they're the same day, for parents that they can drop their kid off and they go from one camp to another.
One ends at 11,
yeah.
one starts at 11:30.
Right. And we haven't been able to get all that because of schedules because, coaches also have summers.
Yeah, logistics are always tough with that kind of stuff.
So, but we try to look at that to then determine times of when that would work when we look at our number of multiple campers that go to multiple camps. So we look into that to see if there's things we could do to try to help that, but we won't know that final number till after our cheer camp, But I would venture to say if there's 338 campers, it's probably over 100 of those.
Wow.
Third,
That's incredible. Yeah.
That go to more than one. And just from talking to some parents this past week that were down here, they were loving it because tennis and volleyball were at the same time. Their daughter wanted to go to volleyball camp, but their son wanted to go to tennis camp. Yeah. They were at the exact same times. They loved it because they were able to bring both kids.
One-shot stop, baby.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And their times just matched up. So they were loving how that worked out. And so those are things that we try to take into consideration. You're never going to be able to hit all of that to make it all work out perfect. But the best we can do to try to get some of that to take place is always a positive.
And here's the beauty of all this. You're feeding your programs for the future. You're creating future Eagles through this, allowing that exposure for kids to kind of start to determine what they're interested in, what they might want to pursue. And that kind of leads right into our next topic, which is fall being right around the corner. We've got fall sports that are already on our calendars. And this fall is going to look a little different. Had some, region realignments that kind of make things look a little different.
Go from 2A to 4A, things get real quick.
But now, Cofield, you say going from 2 to 4. I hear that all the time. We really went from 2A to 3A, right? Yeah. Which we've been in 3A before, but people see that 4A and they're just like, oh my gosh, it's 4A, right?
When you hear 4A, at least I do, I think about the powerhouses of the past who were 4A, which have now, with them bringing back 7A, those now have gone to, 5A and moved up and stuff. But it's just seeing a 4, though, and you see our school size, which enrollment's up here. Like, I get that. I understand. Jackson County is still – I think Dr. Brown said a couple years ago that at that time Jackson County was the 8th fastest-growing county in the nation.
Yeah, we have surpassed that now.
Oh, okay, cool. Well,
we have I think we're third or fourth right now
in the nation.
Yeah, I think we're top 10 in the world. It's somewhere in that category. Don't hold me to those exact numbers, but it's somewhere.
Somebody will fact check you. You'll get an email.
That's fine, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I would like to have it exactly accurate, but it's somewhere. I know we have moved in the top 5 in the for a county in the nation. So
it's pushing out, man.
Yeah,
man, it's all happening. The most of it's happening over on the west side, which, you look at this region realignment, we're going to have a new high school in Jackson County who's actually going to be
part of this
in our region with Christian High School.
So. Right, which there's a lot of questions I've had over this as well, over, when are they coming in? Are they playing a non-region schedule? They're not going to actually join us until the 27-28 school year.
Because that's when they open. Right?
That's when they open. No, they're not
right.
opening this year. So the only sport they're not going to play a varsity
football,
schedule in is football, right? They will just have a JV schedule for football. All the other sports, they're all varsity go from the get-go. You know what
region,
I mean?
Region as well?
Yeah, and region play. And so that's been one thing from our region meetings that we've had is being able to fill our schedule now, but also being able to accommodate when they come
Another one coming in.
Yeah, to add them to it, which is a blessing because this region, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, we've been in regions with with all of these teams except for Cherokee Bluff because they're newer. Mm-hmm. They were never in our region before, and Houston High when they opened. We've been in a region with Monroe, Oconee, West Hall, and East Hall all before.
Absolutely.
So it's not like that these are not.
Just a couple of years ago, right?
And Cofield, how many times have we talked about on our Friday night football show, the Bo and Bucky show, how difficult that region was that we just come out of. I mean, and
legit, man.
when you look at this, I know there's still some very difficult teams on here, but it looks like a schedule that's that you can at least kind of manage your way through possibly in most varsity sports. So
yeah, I mean you're losing those. You pull out those two private schools, right? And that's a big kicker there when. Most varsity sports across the board. When you take those two private schools out, and now you look at this, you're like, okay, yeah, we are going 4A, but looking at him, we competed against my first year here, which was 4 years ago, I guess. We were in the region with Monroe and Oconee.
Right. Right. No, we were in there with them, and for that region, it was pretty much our old region that we just left with Hart, Franklin. Yeah. All of those were also at Stevens. All of those were also in that region with them, And so now, I mean, we've been in a region with East Hall and West Hall as well before, So it's one of those, it is what it is. We're moving. We're about 1,100 kids right now. You know what I mean? So we're on the very small end of what's 4A.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's just one of those to see where we're going to grow and where we're going to be. But I mean, after 2 years, when they do realignment again, who knows what those numbers across the state are going to go to see, do we go back down to 3A, you know what I mean, or are we staying in 4A? What have our numbers done grown-wise or whatnot? So, I mean, there's so many factors that go into it for that. But yeah, it's going to be good. Really like the teams we play, being at those region meetings, all those ADs, a bunch of great guys, and girls that are there. So it's going to be good to work with them. You know what I mean? And competition's going to be good too. So
see, from what I've gathered and what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, this region, they've been together now. The last 2 years, this region was together. Jefferson was in there. Jefferson unplugged, and we plugged in where Jefferson were.
I mean, that's
with the
really
exception of Houston.
With the exception of Houston, this has been that region,
right.
That we went in. We basically just took Jefferson's spot. So technically, for all the scheduling purposes,
they were just
that's what we did.
Good.
Like, they just put our name in.
Just kind of plug and play, right in place and keep moving.
Yeah, because they already had the schedule set, which has been nice. I mean, and, talking about our new regional alignment with who we have and coaches-wise, I mean, we got a new football coach in, I mean, who's stepping in for Coach Pettis, and we had 50 kids at football camp.
Yeah.
I mean, brand new coach in softball, and Coach Allen, and softball still managed to increase, the number of kids at softball camp this year. So those are all positives and good things of moving forward. That you see in our community and the excitement that we have here, which has been a blessing, And so when you just look at our fall coaches of who we have that are coming in that are new, you got Coach Henderson with football, Coach Allen with softball, and then we have Coach Pascacelli. I was about to not say that correct, but Coach Pascacelli, who's coming in to be our sideline and game day cheer.
Yeah.
Coach Lucas was new last year. Took over our comp program. And then Coach Pascacelli's coming in now to take over our sideline and game day. So other than that, we still got the legend Tommy Satone running our cross-country program in the fall. And I say legend because he's legendary. And then Coach Williams still doing our flag, although we've had some turnover with our assistant coaches there, which has been good. You know, hated to see our coaches leave that were there because they were awesome, but we've been able to replace with good coaches there. And then, you know, Coach White's still
I think
doing
one of the
our
things that
volleyball.
we also got to kind of keep in mind for our listeners at home, when we throw around words like fall sports, because the calendar keeps pushing up every single year, some of our listeners may be surprised to know that first varsity football game is August the 13th. That doesn't necessarily scream fall.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so you can't get caught off guard by that for sure
Yeah.
if you're wanting to kind of be involved and plugged into East Jackson athletics for the fall.
Right.
It comes a lot quicker than you might anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, and that's our scrimmage game. But, I mean, if you even look down the schedule here,
Volleyball.
softball has their
softball.
first game at Banks County on August 1st.
That's before the first day of school, isn't it?
It's right there. That is the first day of school,
Is
is
it?
it not?
That's
think
a Saturday.
That's a Saturday. So then, yeah, that's right after it.
Okay.
That's right after. So we come to school, I think, on that Thursday, and then they play
That's wild.
that Saturday at Banks County.
Yeah, that ain't
You
fall,
know.
my man. That's summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know,
dead up summer.
Yeah, I mean, so it's rocking and rolling. I mean, and then after that, what you were saying with volleyball, their first game is here at home, but
On the
it's
4th.
August 4th.
Yeah.
You know, that's that Tuesday. You know, so, I mean, like, it is crack-a-lacking soon.
Well, and I think that
I mean, if you think
happens-
about this, we're about a month and a half away from our fall sports kicking off.
Yeah, and it's
You
like
know.
school keeps pushing, coming back earlier. We start back school in July.
Yeah.
Teachers come back before the last week of July. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, where did summer go?
Man, well, you blink.
Yeah.
You know, you blink and
I
you
mean,
miss it.
time goes fast.
Yeah.
Summers get shorter. Things keep pushing up, but we are sprinkled in with more breaks throughout the year, right?
No doubt.
It's almost like a modified year-round school, you know, kind
To
of
an
deal.
extent, yeah.
You know, I mean, because we get that fall break. You know, you get spring break. You get, you know, we get a little bit of that winter break there as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, we do come back earlier, but kids get time off during the school year, which I think is important because if you go school, and sports, like hard and heavy year round, like it for 9 months straight, right? 9-10 months straight. There's going to be some burnout there. You need some time in there to step back and relax. And that's, man, the administration here, they just do such a great job. Dr. Stratemeyer, every email that he sends out when we have a break, he said, you know, rest, reconnect, you know, relax, enjoy your family time, take time for yourself,
Right.
which is awesome, you
Right.
know. And so,
Yeah, no, 100%. And, I mean, going back to our schedules and fall sports, there's only one that really starts in what you would constitute fall, and that's flag.
Yeah.
Just because of their season is
Yeah.
pushed back later, so their state championship matches up with footballs, you know. And so, like, their first game's not till 9/16. You know, so that's getting started there. Comp cheers the same thing. Theirs is not till 9/26. But you know, those are those sports of where when we were growing up and in school, and probably a lot of our older listeners feel the same way. That's about when we started playing our fall sports.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, that kind of delayed start for flag, I know you said that kind of helps it set up and align with the normal football schedule as they go into the playoffs. Does that also give some of our female athletes that are playing softball the opportunity to kind of double dip in that and flag football as well?
yeah. So flag's at a very interesting time. You know, don't know what the right answer is of where you would put it to not have it conflict with sports, with other
Yeah.
sports that have, you know, been more traditional, if you will.
not necessarily a newer sport because
Right.
it's come about here in the last
Right, and
5
and
or
I
so
mean
years.
taken off.
Yeah,
I mean,
oh,
flag
yeah.
has taken off.
Oh,
I mean,
some
we
of
had-
those state championship games are incredible.
Oh,
yes,
dude, yeah.
phenomenal.
They're as entertaining as any
Yes.
of the boys' games.
I mean, considering we had 70 girls try out for flag football.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's awesome.
like it's phenomenal, right? But it depends on how far softball goes in the playoffs. The same thing with volleyball,
Yeah.
right? If they're pushing deep in the playoffs, which we ran into this 2 years ago with our volleyball program, went to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
You know, those girls that do both, you know, they're having to manage that time because, you know, even if you have a rule that you can't start one sport till you finish the other one, well, these are both fall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, how does that work out? And that's been a thing that's been real good with our coaches communicating with each other because that also then feeds into our winter sports as well, right? And so it's been great to see how our coaches communicate and then find ways to let our athletes compete in multiple sports.
Absolutely. I know we're growing, but as a school our size, you still need all of your athletes being able to do multiple sports if you really want to put your most competitive teams out there for sure.
Right. And so it's been close. I mean, we were so close last year in flag to making the playoffs. I mean, we were right there on the brink.
And it was our second year.
It was our second year. And so, we're gonna crack that egg here shortly. And hopefully this year is the year that we can pull that off. We were one win away from getting in the playoffs last year for flag. But no, I mean, it's just a testament of everybody having to work together to be able to make that happen. And it's a great addition. It's a great sport. I mean, if anybody pays attention, flag is growing everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Which is awesome. And it's they got new rules out this year. If anybody goes to a flag game, you'll see they have to wear like that padded head cover.
Really?
You know what I mean? Just because of the number of concussions. I mean, you got to think people are running full speed to go pull a flag, or they're going up for a ball, or whatever it may be.
There's going to be collisions.
There's going to be, regardless, right? And so GHSA has stepped in and put a rule in that everybody has to have that head covering.
It's almost like the bonnet, like for the 7-on-7.
No, that's exactly what it is. And it, and then shout out to the Falcons for giving those scholarships for the flag football teams, which with that $5,000, it'll cover our
awesome.
That's purchase of those headgear. So, and that's another thing too. When you have a new sport like that comes around and it's growing, the amount of people that are willing to help out and help support that, truly like helps that not just survive but take off. Right. And so it's been a blessing. I mean, we don't offer all the sports that GHSA has just because we're not there yet. We will be at some point in time. I don't know when that is, but we're just not there yet. But what we do have, we work to be competitive in, and to set our kids up for success. And so and our county, get a huge shout out to our county as well, because with all of these additions, they find a way to help supplement, for coaches to find a way to be able to pay, because they know what it is, to have coaches come out, that it's been a blessing to work with them and to work with our basically our county AD assistant superintendent Jason Wester, to work with him in this regard of these things, which has been nice as well. So it's been good, but look forward to fall coming up. I mean, it's going to be here. We're going to blink and we're going to be doing a podcast over fall sport preview. That's what it's going to be. And it's going to be great. I can't wait. I mean, for us to say that we're already at the 10th of June right now is crazy to think. We realistically have 2 weeks left in June, and it's like, wow. We'll be in July, and then the next thing you know, everybody will be back for new or not new teacher, but
just pre-planning.
Thank you. We'll be back for pre-planning and have our athletic department coaches meeting, eating good Mexican food. So it'll be
shout out Big
stuff.
Dog Alonzo.
So it'll be fun stuff. But looking forward to it.
I forgot. Hey, we need to add one thing, because in September, don't have a specific date yet, but in September, fishing kicks off with a PBC.
It does.
PBC trail. So
it does. It does. And hey, Cofield, we're adding a middle school team this year.
We are, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We had about between 14, 15, I think, interested kids at the interest meeting the other day, majority of which were middle school. So that's awesome. When you got somebody that, you're talking about sponsorships and all this, for the jerseys for the kids, because you want them to all right, fishing's not like other sports where, everybody's uniforms are the same and they all kind of look the same. Like, you got your sponsors. It's almost like NASCAR, right? You got your sponsors. You see who's paying the bills on your chest, on your sleeves and everything. And we were talking about it in the meeting and stuff, and you got people coming up saying, hey, well, my relative is so-and-so with this fishing company. Well, in this fishing company, hey, let's do it. Like, let's get their name. Let's get their name on our back, on our sleeves. We'll keep that EJ hook.
I love the logo, how the hook was incorporated into the logo.
I appreciate it.
No, that's good. I'm not going to lie, it's cool. I mean, I just still think it's crazy, Kofi. When you and I first talked about getting this fishing team going, we were hoping for 2 boats.
And
we were like, please let us at least, if we get 2 boats, we're going to consider it. We are doing well. 5 boats later, am I right?
Yeah, we had
5. 5 boats later, we had it year 1. So it was a blessing.
Which is such a commitment from people.
It is, man.
You know,
it
and
is.
so to have that kind of support in the community, because it kind of goes beyond what our student athletes are able to pull off in some of those situations. You've got to have some support.
You do.
And I know you could probably tell us a lot more about what all is required with that, but I know there's definitely some community support that goes into the captaining of the boats and such.
Yeah,
I mean, not to mention the financial contribution of having a boat.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
Fuel costs,
right?
And breakdowns and mechanical issues and stuff like that. Equipment. And it's just it's crazy. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
It's on their side, like the parent side and the captain side, and just like you said, shout out to the community.
Yeah, to be willing to take on that responsibility, and that's something that you just don't see in every community. So we're definitely glad to have that support.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's actually been a blessing. I'll tell you this: if nobody's been to a weigh-in, that weigh-in we went to on Lanier that day was awesome.
Dude, and that wasn't anything compared to the PBC trail. Like you weren't ever able to go with me to one of those. Dude, it felt like you was at a college tailgate. Like I'm not joking. They had tents set up one after the other.
Well, y'all took one of our tents one year, didn't you?
No.
Or the one thing I thought you came and got one of the big tent.
No, I wasn't gonna be responsible for that. No.
Oh.
No.
I thought you.
I'm not signing that
Well,
check.
you and I had talked about getting the big tent to take.
So speaking of people in the community taking responsibility, not going to be me.
Wrong attitude, Cofield.
Not for that tent.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not going to sign that check, man.
No,
that thing's more than my stipend.
Well, here you go. Here's a blessing. I haven't even sent this email out, but through our fundraisers through the athletic department, we have purchased 3 new tents, and now we have tents for our teams that can take, and they'll be in a central location that our teams can use.
Like the 10x10s?
We got 2 10x10s and a 10x20.
Hey.
So our teams will be able to take tents if they need them of where they
awesome.
go.
That's cool.
To have, and then the athletic department, we still have our tents that we use, like for example, Friday night football when you come through the gate where we have all our tents set up.
We did that for tennis region too.
Yeah,
check in.
Yeah,
that's when I got that one from you.
So
for down there, and we hosted tennis.
So we've been able to do that. Shout out to everybody that's helped support East Athletics. That's just one small thing we've been able to do. But if they come on our campus, I'm going to tell you this: there's going to be some new upgrades on our campus. About to have a new jumbotron in the stadium. They're starting on that here soon. That will be done in July, or maybe even before July, somewhere in there. We got 2 new scoreboards coming down, one at the baseball field, one at the softball field. So 2 scoreboards coming in there as well, which is just been a blessing to go through. It was a learning curve for me. I did not realize how much it cost just to replace the LED numbers and scoreboards.
No, dude, I can't imagine.
But that was eye-opening for me to see what that cost. But we've been able to get new scoreboards down there as well. So all of our outdoor facilities will have new scoreboards at them this year, which will be nice. And that's just, again, slowly but surely support fundraising with our athletic department of us being able to go and help from the board office as well, of being able to do this to upgrade things on our campus.
And that's one thing that we've seen on Friday nights as well, the games that we've been to on the away visits where they had the jumbo screens and jumbotrons. It adds so much to the experience, just the complete experience of a Friday night. It adds so much to it for sure.
And not only that, now granted, most places that we went, they were 1 high school counties, right? So they had that funding. They had all of the classes and the kids, on that campus, and specifically thinking in my mind, Hart, Franklin County, those things. And so what I'm looking forward to is the day when we're able to have kids out here running these boards with different cameras set up in the end zone, on the sidelines, on top of the press box, and we're able to show replays. You know what I mean?
So it's funny you bring that up. So Paul Brannon is going to be like our point guy here at the school with our scoreboard. So he and I just went to a training this past Friday at Metco. That's where our board's coming from.
Okay.
For them to show, well, they had Sequoia High School there to present because they do that there. They have a whole production team.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a trailer. They have the whole 9 yards. Now, they didn't start out with that. That is what they have been able to acquire over time. But they have 4 cameras on top of their press box and 2 cameras that are down on the field going and getting it. And it is all student-led. Like the producer, everybody there is all student-led. Now, the teacher that does this, they're there in case something happens.
Right.
But it is all student-led. Like the kids do all their homework when they're doing the announcing of the game on the live stream, like the whole 9 yards. It is absolutely phenomenal of how they do that.
Very similar to what we saw at Franklin County.
That's what I was about to say. You had the teacher standing behind, the kid, I guess the crew chief, if you will, and the crew chief is in there hitting buttons, throwing switches on the headset, telling, "Hey, let's get this shot." Like we saw it when we was in the press box at Franklin, and it was impressive. I'm like, I want us to get to that level.
Well, you know what we're going to have to do if we get it? We're going to have to add on to our press box somewhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to put something in our press box when we get to that, which I can't wait because that is that to me is a great problem to have.
Hey, just build a new press box on the visitor side. We'll go over there. How about that?
Or let's just send other people over and keep all our people on the home side.
I'm down for that too.
We
dropping in that wall anytime soon?
No. No walls going in. Met with people. There's too much electrical. We can talk about that, but there's a lot of stuff that would be moving that I did not know of until I met with the people out there.
Gotcha.
And got to looking at it, and it was like, oh, okay. So just another upgrade here of what we were talking about. We just partnered with NHFS, so we now have all NHFS cameras in our stadium, in our gym that cover all those events as well. Looking to get those at our baseball, softball field as well. We're getting new sound systems at our baseball and softball field. Those will be up before school starts next year as well. So just all of those upgrades of what we're trying to do to help the teams, the fan experience, the whole 9 yards of everything looking and working at a level of which people want to be at. You know what I'm saying? And it makes that experience even better, not only for our players, but for the spectators that are there also.
Yeah, and I know that goes back to administration as well.
Yes.
Dr. Stratemeyer, he came down to one of the baseball games and was immediately like, hey, that sound system's just not good enough. We got to do something about this.
You are not lying that's exactly how that went, Bucky. You are not lying at all. Exactly how that went. I'm pretty sure I got a text message that night.
Immediately.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So, but no, it's been great. And that's another thing here. That's one reason I love this school so much is everybody's willing to help out. I mean, Dr. Chandler, our course teacher, jumped right in with that.
Absolutely. He was down there the next day putting a new speaker up there with just stuff that he had around here.
That's what I'm saying. And did it all himself and then took it all down. Like, it is baffling how that works. It's one question and, like, example of Dr. Chandler, he was on it. He was like, no, I got it. I got it. Everything's taken care of. Not because he has a tie to baseball. He doesn't have a kid that plays baseball.
But he enjoys doing that.
He enjoys helping because it's helping the kids and helping out East Jackson.
Yep.
And he was just all for it. I mean, no questions asked. And used his planning period to go and make sure all that is taken care of.
Cool. Which he runs the music on Friday nights, doesn't he?
He helps out with the music on Friday night, and so we'll have a new announcer this year. Our former announcer was just like it's time, and very thankful for Brent Madden.
Oh, Brent Madden, man.
I can't tell you.
He's been the voice of the Eagles on the from the press box for years now. So.
Exactly, and never asked for a dime.
Yeah.
Wanted to do it. And so, I have nothing but the most respect for him and very thankful for everything he has done. I've known him. I actually coached his son, when Patrick was coming through, but have known Brent. He's been nothing but support. And, this is a testament to Brent. Brent wouldn't tell me this over the phone. Brent came and had a meeting with me because he wanted to have a face-to-face conversation, about it. Like that just
that
stands
doesn't
up
surprise me. And
but-
knowing him and his family, that
Right.
doesn't surprise me.
But I
at
mean,
all.
that's just who he is.
Absolutely.
And that's who he is, and that's how it goes down. So we're moving to Kevin Crowe will now be the voice of the Eagles in our stadium on Friday nights. And so now we're looking to now get a sound person to come up there because we'll also have Paul will be up there with our video board, so it's going to look totally different in the press box this year. And, that's
Kate
a whole –
Hub going to be up there? Is he still going to be up there?
He'll be there for some. Hub still goes to all these races.
That's a fact.
So
He missed out on our golf outing because I hooked him up with truck race tickets.
There you go. There you go. So, I mean, Hub will still be here. God, what a great guy he is
love
as
that
well.
dude. He's awesome.
But, I mean, this goes back to planning with this new board. I didn't realize what all this is, but now, when I first got this job, I met with Mr. Bagley, and we figured out music and the band in a game. Right, music's one thing, but a band in a Friday night football game, go Saturday to colleges. What do you hear? I mean, think of Georgia when fourth quarter hits and that brass section hammers. You know what I mean? Everybody knows what it is. There's something
A little bit of vomit right there.
That's just because you're confused. That's okay. I mean, some people are confused and like Tennessee. I don't really understand. But I will say this, but to Tennessee's credit, what happens when Rocky Top plays in their stadium?
Dude.
When Neyland gets rocking, right? That's my point of a band in a stadium on a football game.
That is Friday nights.
It is. It is phenomenal. So, we met with a schedule of what band was playing and when we were going to mix music in with that.
Yeah.
So, that's also another thing that comes on with this, with a video board. Because there's some music that ties with certain things and things that you have going on the video board, right?
Are we selling commercials? Do we want to throw a plug for that?
Yeah, well, we're actually selling ads. We're not doing commercials year one because we want to make sure we have all this squared away.
Got it.
So scrolling ads that will work whenever our board is on. $750 you get all year. I mean, that's every event we have in our stadium. Your ad will scroll all year long. You know what I mean? And there's things we have to work on our side, the back side of all this of, how long do those roll before they scroll, right? And there's different ways, and we're still looking at the setup because I've learned a lot with having a board here. The setup of the board basically we build, right? Like where the scoreboard is on the board to where the video screen is to where your ads that are scrolling, like how many of those you have, the layout of it, and it's all crazy. And everybody tells us at this training we were at last Friday, they were also like, you need to wait till your board. It's okay for y'all to go ahead and use some of these mock templates we have, or y'all come up with your own template, but then you need to put it on the board and see it to make sure that if
you're getting the picture how you want it, and it's gonna format
and the people that pay their money for their ad, you can actually see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that it actually looks clear.
Yeah.
So you can't have it too small. You know what I mean? But
is it just going to be logos, or is it going to be like video clips?
It's just going to be logos year one, just
logo?
because we want to make sure we have it ironed out. Here's the thing. We don't want to take money from someone and then not be able to deliver on what we told them. Right?
Exactly.
So if people are willing enough to donate money to us for something, then we want to give them what they paid for.
Yeah.
Right? And so we're not going to promise. And some of that comes from me talking to ADs that when they got their board. So I've talked to numerous ADs as well, picking their brain about how this is. And some of them said we made the mistake of trying to offer commercials and all this stuff up front, and these people paid for it. And then we were struggling trying to find a way to deliver what they paid for, and I mean, just one of the schools I talked to, they were saying that they did commercials with anticipating at like a timeout or something being able to play a commercial, but the timing never worked out right, or in between quarters, and then they were like, the part we didn't take into consideration was, well, do they play music during that, or does it allow the atmosphere to die down? Is the band playing during that time you're supposed to be playing a commercial too, right? So there were all those things, and that's one reason that we don't want to do commercials year one too, is to make sure we have it right where if people are willing enough to support and pay, we want to give them
you got
what
the
they
production
pay for.
right, and give them what they're paying for. Yep.
You know, but also not take away from the game atmosphere. You know, at this training, this guy that works at Georgia, I mean, he's been with the Braves, Falcons. He was giving examples of how crucial video board and music is to the atmosphere of a game. They were like, it's not just a screen. They were like, it actually will feed the atmosphere. And they were talking about Georgia baseball because he works at Georgia, and that's the most recent thing. And he was given detailed explanations of the way they were able to revive a crowd when they had an inning that didn't go their way.
Yeah,
but
or when you got a downtime where somebody's coming out of the bullpen.
Yes.
You know, that's been such a huge thing for Georgia baseball the last couple of years. And
And so it was just those type of things of hearing their perspective of how this worked. I didn't realize this, but apparently at Georgia, this team that runs Sanford Stadium, they work year-round, and they're constantly changing to get better. And there was a guy from Georgia State as well, and they brought him in on purpose because everybody's like, oh, well, it's easy to do that at Georgia because there's 93,000 people that come and it's sold out every time, right? Well, they had the guy from Georgia State there that also was able to speak on not having that many people there, but finding a way to help feed it, which was good to hear. You know what I'm saying? And they'd been both of these people that I'm speaking of had been doing it a long time, so they had plenty of examples and just so much information to be able to share to try to be like, I'm going to warn you, if you try to do this, you know, it may not work out.
Right.
I'll show you what we had to do to, you know, overcome that. So it's just those type of things with this board that we're super excited for. You know,
and when you say year-round, that'd be football, soccer, track. It's going to be running throughout the course of the year.
JV football games, flag football games. You know, there are ways, from what I understand on this, that we can just have a scoreboard up there, but then our ads constantly roll where they never stop.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what I mean? So even if it's at just use a JV football game that takes place there. Well, obviously that's going to be a little different than a Friday night, right, for a varsity football game. So it may not be all of the – if we're able to ever put like replays or stuff up on the screen, but there'll be something where our East logo is spinning, but our ads are still being seen by everybody there, you know, with our scoreboard being up there. This also goes to when we host rec football game.
Every Saturday morning.
That's what I'm saying. So
track
anytime,
meets.
yes.
So even though they might not be quite as much pomp and circumstance going on, the ads are still going to be there.
The ads are still there to be seen by whoever, you know. And so that's just one of the things. And from talking to everybody, they've all been able to pull that off. And so that's just something we have to work on our end to make sure we get that taken care of, you know. But again, I love that. I don't want to call it a problem, but that obstacle to overcome.
Issue,
right?
It's a
you know what I'm
issue
saying?
to have.
Like it's a blessing. It truly is. So it's good stuff. I will say this: it's been interesting when people find out we're getting aboard. The number of emails I have gotten has been quite interesting. Of what that looks like, what's an ad cost, how do we get involved? You know, things of that nature, which are good things, you know. So I don't hate it. It also doesn't hurt that schools around us got boards and they go to games and see that they're doing it there, and now they want their company on a board, whether or not they have a kid in our school system or not.
Advertising.
They have a business to make successful, right?
Tax write-off, too.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, those have all been blessings. But, yeah, no, it's good stuff going around. And so, you know, we talk about summer and everybody thinks there's nothing going on summer. There's plenty happening this summer. You know what I'm saying? There is plenty rocking and rolling this summer. So, but it's been good.
Well, this summer will lead us directly into the fall, and we'll have a lot of exciting updates coming in our next podcast. Appreciate you guys being with us today. You've been listening to the EJ Locker Room Podcast, and we'll see you next time. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.